Because of his 3 pre-fights, Odin is one of the greatest support champions in the entirety of MCOC. But with the addition of Valkyrie, Odin now has 4 pre-fights. Kind of. Let me explain here. If you don't know how Odin works, he has 3 pre-fight buffs he can place on one of your attackers or one of your alliance mate attackers in AQ or AW. So essentially, what this new synergy does with Valkyrie is that when Odin bestows one or more of his crossfight buffs, the recipient also receives a bulwark buff, increasing block proficiency by 10%, lasting as long as the crossfight buff. First and foremost, 10% block proficiency increase with the bulwark buff, really solid for champions like Stark, Spidey, Hela, for example, right there. Other champions with small block proficiencies, small champions who are pretty squishy, that's going to be absolutely incredible for them. Pair that up with Guardian as well, and then you have a lot of block proficiency, and that problem essentially gets fixed entirely. But there are many champions that Odin is a wonderful synergy partner for because they get better with the higher amount of buffs that they have. And I did my thing, and I got a couple of those clips together for you, and I'm going to show them to you. So up first, we have Ghost with the Ant-Man synergy, plus 15% attack for each buff on Ghost. So essentially, you go in, Ghost and Ant-Man, and you have plus 15%, right? For each buff, and you start with 3 usually, right? But now Odin's going to make it start with 4. So this is an additional plus 15% attack rating that is always going to be on Ghost the entirety of the fight, okay? Now, of course, with heavy attacks, you get additional buffs as well, and then you get kind of stuff like this, man. This is kind of what happens when you have Odin on the team with Ant-Man and Ghost. You have a really big, juicy special too, and Winter Soldier is now down below 50% health. We have a 23k medium attack there, and this is just absolutely insane because Ghost was already one of the best champions in the entire game, and now with this new synergy, she is literally even better. She has now become better because of this, okay? So here we go. We're going to knock him out with one more special too. That's going to be all she wrote, and this is the first example, flushing Winter Soldier right down the toilet very efficiently. Is it overkill? Yes. Do you need it for Ghost? In my opinion, no. I never use it for Ghost, right? But some of these other champions, they benefit a little bit more. Let's say you have Angela, SIG 20, 15% nullify auto block ability accuracy, right? Per each buff that you have. Also, damaging debuffs reduce their duration by 15% at SIG 20. Now, usually you start with the 3 buffs from Odin, and that's really nice for helping that SIG ability out, right? Now, we start with 4 buffs. That's an additional 15% on a SIG 20 Angela. Let's say you have like a SIG 60, I think it's like, or SIG like 80 is like 30% reduction, something like that. So yeah, this is going to be an additional buff that's going to start on Angela, which is absolutely huge. So as you can see, we are just ramping up that that immunity and that pseudo immunity so much faster with her, man, which is just really, really fantastic. This is an amazing synergy for Angela. Silver Surfer. Each hit deals a burst of 350 energy damage for each unique buff. This scales with base attack only, okay? So, Odin, great synergy to partner to bring along with Silver Surfer because you're going to increase the additional burst damage that you have. Now you're going to have an additional buff to increase that even further, okay? So, let's watch the full Silver Surfer fight here. There's not too much Silver Surfer gameplay out there, man, so it's always nice to make a little bit of it. You know, I have my Silver Surfer at rank 3 SIG 200. Unfortunately, I don't use him too much, but he is a little bit underrated. He's kind of cool. I think he can use a bit of a value buff in my opinion, but he's definitely a little bit underrated, no doubt about it, right? So what we're doing here is we're building up as many unique buffs as we possibly can get, and that bulwark buff is just kind of hanging out there, man. It's hanging out there, and it's adding to the red burst damage. As you can see, 2400 plus for every single hit that we do. We're going to refresh all of our buffs here. We don't have the vigilance. That's okay. We're going to wait for the power cosmic buff to come back. It's fine. We flubbed it up a little bit. This could have been a juicier, right, special too, but this is like kind of just fine, right? So yes, that's a nice bit of damage right there, right? So that's definitely a fun way to play with Silver Surfer, going for that big special too, you know? Let's refresh all those buffs once more, and let's go for one more special too, and we're gonna have a fun time, all right? So as you can see, Odin definitely increasing the damage output on Silver Surfer, right? And with that additional buff from Valkyrie, it's just taking it even further to the next level. And that was Winter Soldier, flushed right down the toilet by Silver Surfer, and about 75 hits. Definitely not too bad. Up next, we have, who is this? Hulkling. Plus 800 attack rating for each unique buff Hulkling has. Self-explanatory, right? Plus 800. So with Odin, it's 8, 16, 2400. Now, even more so. But you know what? This one, not so much, because actually he has Bulwark in his kit. I did not realize that until just now. But let's watch some fun Hulkling gameplay instead, because this guy is super duper cool, right? Yeah, so Odin in general, very good for Hulkling, you know, because you get those 3 buffs. Yeah, Hulkling has Bulwark in his base kit. It's unique buff, so Hulkling is not going to get that additional 800 attack from this. But it's nice in case the Bulwark falls off. You know, when I play with him, I actually, as you can see right now, I don't have one of his personal Bulwarks on. So actually, hey, it works a little bit. Not too bad. Look at that. I did have a plan all along for this guy. Nice. So that was Hulkling. Up next, we have Red Goblin. I've got the 5-star rank 2 here on the beta server right now. But basically, Red Goblin, for every buff that he has, we're going to put an Incinerate debuff on the heavy attacks. And of course, if you have like a 6-star rank 3 Red Goblin, this damage is going to be very, very nice. Red Goblin, kind of nuts with Odin, just with the 3 buffs. Now you can have up to 4, which is definitely very, very nice and a big improvement. One final one here, we have Black Bolt with Hitmonkey and Medusa, Odin and Valkyrie, right? Basically, if you bring Odin on the team here with the Hitmonkey and Medusa synergies, what that's essentially going to do for Black Bolt is going to allow him to ramp up his crit rate faster, right? And then as you keep gaining more buffs, you're going to keep gaining a higher crit rate, and you're going to pretty much get into like near guaranteed crit territory. As you can see, we're already there, right? Now you don't need Odin to do this, but the ramp up is much, much, much slower. And Odin, with the 3 buffs in the beginning, it definitely helps speed his ramp up by quite a bit. And now with an additional buff, it just helps it out, man. It just helps it out. And look at this. Look at the damage that we're getting off from Black Bolt, which is nuts, man. We have 17k mediums. We're doing 12k light attacks about, right? And this is just really solid. Wait till you guys see this final special too. It's kind of nutty. Black Bolt, super duper nuts in the damage department. That was just crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. So yeah, there are lots of champions that Odin just makes really, really good. And most of them are really because it's like, hey, the amount of unique buffs that you have, or just the amount of buffs that you have, it reduces the duration of debuffs, it increases your attack rating, it does this, it does that, it increases your crit rating, it does this, right? So this was already a super duper powerful support champion, because he has the 3 buffs to give you. And the thing is, though, it's like those buffs, some of them are super useful. One of them is shock resist, one of them is aptitude, and one of them is like a safety net if you get hit. But for the majority of like what you use this guy for, man, you know, I send him in war for like a shock resist in Path 9 often. But aside from that, you know, we use him on like Angela to reduce the duration of damage debuffs, you know, for Ghost to increase the damage output, all this other stuff. Very often, it doesn't matter what the buffs are, it's just the fact that he places 3 buffs on one of your attackers. That's just getting increased to a 4th one, man. So I feel like it's just nuts to me to see like Ghost get even stronger with this synergy, and all of the other ones that I've shown as well. It's just a very solid little boost for the support that Odin already has. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop your boy a big old like. Let me know what you think about this little boost to Odin in the comment section below. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos just like this coming to you in the future, and I will be seeing you around, man.